Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from Tokyo, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar on Indonesia Update, Policy Mix and Economic Outlook. This webinar is organized by ASEAN-Japan Center, Bank Indonesia Tokyo, and the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Tokyo. My name is Francisca Monica, and I'm the first Secretary for Economic Affairs at the Indonesian Embassy, and I will be the MC for today. Just a little bit housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box in your Zoom control panel. The moderator will bring them up, and we will have time for questions later on after the presentation. The presentation material will be sent to everyone who completed the survey after the webinar, so we will appreciate if you could please take a few minutes to complete the survey. This webinar will be conducted in 2 languages, English and Japanese, and you may choose your preferred language in the language interpretation control panel. Thank you. Dear participants, we are very honored to have with us here His Excellency Peri Warjio, PhD, Governor of Bank Indonesia, His Excellency Heri Ahmadi, Ambassador for the Republic of Indonesia to Japan, His Excellency Dr. Kunihiko Chris Hirabayashi, Secretary General of ASEAN-Japan Center, and Dr. Yuri Sato, Executive Senior Research Fellow IDJETRO. Without further ado, may I give the floor first to His Excellency Dr. Kunihiko Chris Hirabayashi, Secretary General of ASEAN-Japan Center, for his welcoming remarks. Please, Excellency.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Peri Warjio, PhD Governor of Bank Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Heri Ahmadi, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Japan, Dr. Yuri Sato, Executive Senior Research Fellow, Institute of Developing Economies, IDA-JETRO, Mr. Norio Yamazaki, Executive Director of Japan-Indonesia Association. Correct me if I'm wrong. Japinda? Japinda. Thank you very much. And the distinguished guests and participants from both Indonesia and Japan. Good afternoon. Welcome to our webinar on policy mix and economic outlook in Indonesia. Selamat sore, selamat siang. Nama saya Kunihiko Chris Hirabayashi, Sekjen, International Organization, ASEAN-Japan Center di Tokyo. Thank you very much for joining us today. It is a great privilege to have many of you participating in this event. This reconfirms that there is a high level of interest among Japanese business communities in Indonesia economy and policy. We are co-hosting and co-delivering this webinar in partnership with the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia and Bank Indonesia. I cannot emphasize enough our strong tie with Indonesia since the beginning of our journey at the ASEAN-Japan Center since 1981. Indonesia is a country that the world, no doubt, pays special attention to now. December this year will mark the beginning of Indonesia's presidency of the G20 summit to be held in Bali in 2022. With the special motto being recover together, recover stronger, we all look forward to the leadership of Indonesia in driving the agenda of people, planet, and prosperity. Indonesia's grand plan for making Indonesia 4.0 is also symbolic of a more resilient economic recovery, and within that, you keep it as connectivity of people, machine, and real-time data becomes the key. Today, we are very pleasured privileged to hear from Dr. Peri Warjio, the governor of Bank Indonesia, to share the policy mix, particularly on digitalization in payment system, maintain macroeconomic and financial system stability. We at ASEAN-Japan Center conduct a variety of program projects through collaborating very closely with the Indonesian Embassy, Bank Indonesia, Indonesia Investment Promotion Center, and the Indonesian Trade Promotion Center. It is our strong hope that this webinar benefits you all in your endeavors of trade and investment between Indonesia and Japan. Your activities are essential in further strengthening our ties under our common goal to foster Japan-Indonesia economic partnership and reimagine the future of a brighter post-pandemic world. I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much once again for your participating today. Please stay safe and terima kasih banyak.
Thank you, Excellency. May I now invite His Excellency Heri Ahmadi, Ambassador for the Republic of Indonesia to Japan, for his opening remarks.
Very much. Excellency Dr. Peri Warjio, Governor of Bank Indonesia, Dr. Hirabasi, Secretary General of ASEAN-Japan Center, Dr. Yuri Sato, Executive Senior ID Cetro, Bapak Imam Kausa, Head of the Bank Indonesia, represented in Tokyo, and also Bapak Norio Yamasaki, Executive Director of Japinda. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum, good afternoon, minasan konnichiwa, a very good afternoon to all of you. And thank you for joining us in this webinar. We are extremely delighted to have outstanding speaker this afternoon, Pak Peri dan Ibu Yuri. The embassy is pleased to co-host this event together with ASEAN-Japan Centers and Bank Indonesia or BI. We have an excellent working relation with both ASEAN-Japan Center and BI, and have organized a number of activities. Through this seminar, I'm confident you will have a better understanding and perspective about Indonesia and its economic policy. BI plays a key role in Indonesia's economy and development. BI most important task is not only safeguard monetary stability, but also financial system stability. I'm glad Dr. Yuri Sato is here. She is not only prominent economist, but also an expert in ASEAN and especially Indonesia. I learned that she also speaks fluent Bahasa. Excellence, she is distinguished participant. It's been 18 months since the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic. Not a single country is immune from the negative impact of COVID-19. In general, the world's economy has been hit hard since last year. In this challenging time right now, the priority of most governments is saving life, at the same time economic recovery. However, it is never a one-size-fits-all policy. As for Indonesia, we have responded with various and gradual strategies to overcome the disease and ensure the wheel of our economy is turning. We believe that the light at the end of the tunnel is near. We are optimistic that Indonesia's economy is coming back strong. With respect to Indonesia-Japan economic relation, Despite the challenges, our investment and trade performance is not as bad-shaped. The commitment of both sides to elevate the trade and investment cooperation by both government and private sectors remains strong. Soon, our new EJPA will add more impetus to recent regional trade deal, the RCEP, which is expected to promote regional growth. Stronger investment partnership is also needed to boost and accelerate the economic recovery program. In light of this, the Indonesian government remains committed to pushing forward several strategic projects such as in infrastructures and energy. Recently, slowly but sure, we are beginning to open up our border so that businesses can go back to normal step by step and safely. Excellencies, distinguished participants, this webinar reflects the positive synergy between the Indonesian Embassy, Bank Indonesia, and ASEAN-Japan Center, and more importantly, our strong commitment to promote dialogue and understanding on Indonesia's economy and policy. To conclude, let me once again thank ASEAN-Japan Center and also Bank Indonesia in Jakarta and Tokyo office for making this event possible. Have a great day, and I wish you all enjoy discussion. Wassalamualaikum. Arigato gozaimasu. Selamat sore.
Dear participants, now we have come to the main agenda of this webinar, presentation on Indonesia Update, Policy Mix and Economic Outlook, which will be presented by His Excellency Peri Warjio, PhD. Dr. Peri Warjio officially serves as the Governor of Bank Indonesia since May 2018. He has a long-standing career in Bank Indonesia in the areas of economic research and monetary policy, central banking studies and training, monetary policy strategy, organization transformation, and international issues, among others. He has also authored and published a number of books, journals, and papers on the said issue. He holds a master and PhD degrees in monetary and international finance from Iowa State University, USA. Excellency, the screen is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. His Excellency, Ambassador of Indonesia to Japan, Mr. Heri Ahmadi. It's my great honor, and all of the partner of Japan and Indonesia's companies. My great honor to present what are the promising economic outlook of Indonesia. How we, both country, Indonesia and Japan, can, of course, join together, enhancing our cooperation to greater seek the opportunity of the benefit of the two countries. Before I present my just quickly slide, let me just stress these 3 points. Why invest in Indonesia is promising. First, because Indonesia is resilient. That's the most thing. I repeat, first, because Indonesia is resilient. Stand tall in a number of global turbulence. With the fundamental, as well as, of course, strong coordination of the government, the central bank, and all of the parties. Number 2, because Indonesia continue reforming, will provide opportunity to the future. For example, Just look around other emerging market. How many emerging market or even country at the back of COVID-19 do very strong reform last year, inviting foreign direct investment, opening up the economy through job creation law. At the back of COVID-19, we continue reforming very fast under President Joko Widodo. Infrastructure, manufacturing, and now also emerging industry of downstreaming our natural resources. Number three, why Indonesia is promising? Because of the fast growing acceleration of digitalization. This is the new civilization that we are seeing. Digitalization in Indonesia is very fast growing, especially for the inclusion, for the SME, for the retail, because this is Indonesia market size is the biggest that can offer. Market of the retail, market of the SME that accelerating through digitalization. That's the three key issues His Excellency Ambassador and my dear friend invest Indonesia. And I know, we all know that investment in Japan has been very long-standing history, very strong to Indonesia. With this 3 point, I'm looking forward, Ambassador also looking forward, all of them, we are looking forward for even greater investment to Indonesia. First, because Indonesia is resilient. Second, Indonesia is continue reforming. And on the third, offering digitalization. With that, let me just go through quickly, Ambassador, of my slide, so we can have more time for question and answer later on. Let me have my slide, please. Just update you on a number of recent economic development. Let me go to the second slide. Of course, Indonesia is very open economy. What happened in the global, what happened in the US, what happened in Japan, and everywhere impact Indonesia. And we are seeing that global economic recovery continue. Of course, uncertainty is still there because of variant Delta, because of problem in the distribution, on the logistic, on the shipment, and of course also impact of uncertainty in the financial market. Overall, we see 5.8% global economic growth this year, 4.3% next year. US 6.8, my apology, this year, 3.5 next year. And of course, Japan 2.8% this year, 2.3%, and other, China 8.4, 5.5, this, India, and others. This provide, of course, economic growth of Indonesia from external export. Next slide, please. We are optimistic. Last year, Indonesia once again stand tall of the COVID. And we are on the path of economic recovery. We are seeing 3.5 to 4.3% economic growth this year and increasing 4.6 to 5.4% next year. Where is the growth coming from? Strong export performance, increasing investment, including investment in the downstreaming of our natural resources. Some of them thanks to Your Excellency, His Excellency Ambassador from Japan. on number sector, automotive, infrastructure, and also energy that taking benefit of job creation law last year. Of course, economic growth also coming from large stimulus, growth from fiscal and monetary policy. Other than that, stability continue to be sound. Inflation is very low within our target this year and next year, 3.3% plus minus 1. And now it's only 1.5%, very low. Also, current account deficit, our surplus and deficit of external balance is low, manageable. And also, the banking sector continue to be strong, sound. Of course, we have a problem on still challenge now, how to speed up the lending to the real sector. Next slide, please. Digitalization. This is amazing. E-commerce growing by 48.4%, even larger than our early forecast, 39.1%. E-commerce, mostly retail, mostly SME, opening up, digitalization, and more and becoming accelerated at the back of COVID-19. And I will tell you later on, Bank Indonesia effort in digitalization of our payment system. Digital banking. What I mean digital banking here is the banking services, not digital bank. The banking that offering services through digital, online, whether transfer, whether of course mobilization of fund or other services, not necessarily completely digital bank, growing very fast, 30.1% this year. The size even very large. Electronic money growing by 35.7%, very large, and continue accelerating. So digitalization of national economy and finance accelerated very fast, even faster than we expect, what we forecast, what we plan at the back of COVID-19. Thanks also to Bank Indonesia effort on the digitalization. Next slide, please. So what actually the policy coordination that we have? We have a very strong coordination between the government, central bank, and related parties. Before I going what the central bank do, let me just take a few points on what the government do. The government, of course, providing fiscal stimulus for social program, for health, of course, continuing supporting the economic recovery, for SME support, for business support, and the government also opening up continuously the economy. Implementation of a job creation law with following up regulation already done, implementation to online submission system. Yes, we do understand there is a problem in the implementation, especially in a number of in the regional. This is the issue that we have to deal, that we have to address, and of course, the spirit continuing reforming is there. What the government do, once again, providing fiscal stimulus, continue reforming. What the central bank do? Providing large stimulus of our policy to support economic recovery. Your Excellency, Ambassador, and my dear colleagues of Japanese Corporation, and all of the central bank policy are for supporting economic growth. We have 4 policy plus 1. I will tell you what is the plus 1 is to support the economic recovery. Let me share the 4 first. Monetary policy stimulus. the central bank already aggressively cut our policy rate. Now 3.5%, our policy rate, the lowest in the history. The central bank also from monetary policy continue ensuring stability of the exchange rate. Thank goodness, at the back of Fed tapering, rupiah continue to be stable. In the monetary policy, we also providing large monetary policy stimulus, what so-called quantitative easing. Since last year, we provide 5.3% of GDP, close to 850 IDR trillion. So to ensure for the bank meet liquidity as well as continuing providing for the economic growth. The second instrument, what we call macroprudential. Macroprudential policy is the policy to support and manage bank financing to real sector. We relax when the bad time and we tighten in the good time. What is macroprudential is all about? So since last year and continuing now and to the future, we relax, we loosen our macroprudential policy. Among others, the down payment we cut to 0%, as well as pushing the bank to lower their lending interest rate. And also, of course, providing financing to the SME. Those the policy is the macroprudential. We loosen, we relax our policy to support bank financing. And we will continue to do that this year and next year, and probably continue in 2023. 3 is digitalization of the payment. We at the Bank Indonesia, I announced His Excellency in 2019, May 2019, about 1 year before the COVID, our bold reform of digitalization of the payment system. Back then, we did not know there will be COVID. Among others, we introducing the single national standard of QR, quick response. So everybody can do the transaction through the cell phone, everywhere, anywhere. That's QR Indonesian standard. Of course, we are interlinking our national economic and financial digital. We consolidating and also interlinking about from the digital banking, e-commerce, electronic money, all of them, payment system, fintech, into integration of the ecosystem end to end through, of course, what we call it standard national of open banking. Also, we do the electronification of channeling social program of the government to the people. Now is all of them are electronification or digitalization. Therefore, is of course continuing reforming our money market, financial market, and supporting, of course, SME and inclusion. What the plus one is? The plus one is participation of the central bank in financing the budget. In this very extraordinary condition of the COVID until the end of 2022. We participate in financing of the budget for meeting the need of health, of humanity, supporting the SME, very large. We already, last year, already providing 473.4 IDR trillion. This year, 139.8 IDR trillion. And we will continue participating in financing the budget through the purchase of government bond in the primary market. Next slide, please. Just a number of issues quickly. First issue, is Indonesia ready to anticipate the Fed tapering? Yes. We have been living a number of global spillover. And I've been in the Bank Indonesia my whole life, Your Excellency. You know me, Your Excellency. And I was also assigned as executive director representing 13 countries of the Southeast Asia in the IMF. In the eve of global financial crisis, 2007-2008. So I not only witnessing a number of crises in Indonesia, but also involving in dealing with the crisis. Our assessment now, the Fed tapering impact to Indonesia is much more manageable compared to the taper tantrum of the Fed in 2013, when I was assigned as deputy governor back then. Market understanding now much better. Our external resilience is much stronger with the current account deficit lower, foreign exchange reserve higher, 144.9 billion US now, and of course, we do the experience needed to ensure the managing our stability from the Fed tapering through monetary policy, through all of our policy. Next slide, please. The second issue is how we continue supporting, also coordinating and financing to the real sector. This is the problem everywhere, not only in Indonesia. Because of the pandemic, a number of corporate sector is still in the process of the recovery. And Indonesia also experiencing the same. When we, Bank Indonesia, injecting liquidity in the banking, now very large, still floating around at the banking. So our focus with the government and the financial service authority now is go sector by sector. What is the problem of the regular sector? What is the problem of the banking? What needed policy to support? We have been doing this since February this year. We started with providing support for lending to the property and the automotive before the variant of Delta spreading. It was working and continue working now. Government providing fiscal stimulus on those sector, property and automotive, for purchasing new automobile. The central bank also relaxing our regulation for people to access financing, including zero down payment. And OJK, Financial Service Authority, relaxing regulation. Now we are focusing at the priority sector. What are the priority sector? Of course, export sector, of course, SME, of course, manufacturing that need to be supported. We are going sector by sector. Next slide, please. Financial market deepening. We continue deepen our money market to support the economic recovery, to support the financial sector to grow. Of course, we continue developing not only infrastructure, new instrument, a number of aspects that we are developing. We introducing, of course, the focus now is on developing repo market as well as domestic non-delivery market. So I can report here, Your Excellency, that's why we're working with the authority on Japan to ensure that also domestic non-delivery forward is also growing, because we know forward market of yen and vis-a-vis rupiah is already growing at Japan. No, we wanted also growing Indonesia. So we wanted also the settlement, the use of currency of the trade and investment between Indonesia and Japan can be settled through local currency. I will tell you later on. But we are also developing the infrastructure center counterparty. What is the aim? To answer low interest rate. To answer, of course, the hedging for the business, for the financial sector. Next slide, please. This is digitalization that we already introduced since May 2019. In August 2019, we already launched QR Indonesian standard at the bottom there with the black color, QR Indonesian standard. We are now already 10.4 million SME already incorporated through the digital platform with the banking, with the payments, as well as with the e-commerce. We are aiming 12 million this year and continue growing next year close to 25 or even 30 million. We will assess this. And over the next 3 years, 65 SME will be digitalized. How to support this? That's why we are applying. I already launched 17th of August of what we call it open banking standard. So the services of payment system, whether by digital banking, by fintech, financial technology, or by e-commerce, wherever they are providing services using the same language, which is standard national open API. Just like Bahasa Indonesia, Your Excellency. So we are using same language, what we call it SNAP. Of course, we also developing what is the toll road of the payment system infrastructure retail, what we call it BI, Bank Indonesia Fast Payment. We are in the process, and inshallah, God willing, end of this year, we will launch. So in the future, Your Excellency, in the night, in the weekend, if you do the transaction or for coffee, for anything, 24/7, real-time, retail can be end-to-end settled. So the transaction can be initiated, can be processed, and can be finalized or settled within seconds. Just imagine that for the retail. This is what we are doing. And we are working with the government. Every month, we do national program, Gerakan Nasional, for Bangga Buatan Indonesia. Thank you, Your Excellency, for supporting us with the Japanese Expo, for our SME. It's excellent SME. And every month, we campaign to accelerate our SME, including to the digitalization. The SME retail market, this will be offering a lot of opportunity for investment as well as supporting our economic growth thanks to our digitalization. Last point, local currency settlement. This is initiative that we do thanks Your Excellency Ambassador. How the currency for trade investment between Japan and Indonesia can be settled using currency of rupiah vis-a-vis yen. No need to convert through dollar, then to put currency. We already initiated this, and we already implemented. Thank you, Your Excellency, your support. Growing number of corporations from Japan and Indonesia now using more and more this local currency settlement with Japan. We are campaigning aggressively with the business community, both Indonesia and Japan. We are proud that the Japan our arrangement with Japan is much faster than other country, and we are looking. So in the future, just imagine when you go to Indonesia using digitalization, using cell phone to settle any transaction through our digitalization of payment system. Imagine in the future through our bilateral cooperation, local currency settlement. We do not need to convert into dollar and then to our local currency. And beyond that, we are looking more closer cooperation. So in conclusion, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you once again. It's great honor for me. Just, I repeat again, invest Indonesia. 3 reasons. Indonesia showing resilience in many occasions of global turbulences. Continue strong fundamental, sound macroeconomic, serving for the country of fundamental and resilience. This providing opportunity for investment of stability. Second, Indonesia continue reforming. Not many countries at the back of COVID reform. Thanks to our President Joko Widodo. Last year, job creation law, central bank reforming of money market, every, including of our payment system. Third, digitalization of the SME, of retail, fast growing, very sizable market of Indonesia with our population, with the growing millennia, as well as increasing our income. The retail market providing large opportunity for supporting our economy, also economic growth, as well as invest in Indonesia. I thank you very much. Stop here.
Thank you, Excellency, for sharing with us and for the insightful presentation. Before moving on to the discussion session, may I ask Your Excellencies for a group photo? On my count, please. 1, 2, 3. Once more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Now we are moving on to the discussion session, which will be moderated by Dr. Aya Ono, Program Manager, Junior Program Manager at ASEAN-Japan Center. Dr. Aya, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Governor Perry, for your very insightful presentation. Now, we have received over 30 questions today. Thank you very much, participants, for raising questions in advance. And we have listed these questions, which I will now share on the screen. All right, some questions were answered already in advance in the presentation, so I will skip some questions. The first one is what are the biggest challenges and solutions for rolling out digital payment in Indonesia? If you could please mention briefly, Governor Perry, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
I'm glad to share this. When I first assigned being governor in May 2018, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I spent 5 and 6 months to study what is the best payment model in the world. There is none. Now, one country let the digital payment to the private. Then now have a problem because digital payment being run by the private. The role of central bank limited. In a number of countries, it's ambiguous. There is no clear direction. I'm shopping around. That's why we initiate a very clear direction and vision and program our digital payment. Our Indonesian payment system blueprint that I launched May 2019. Clearly, our digital payment to integrate our national digital economy and finance. And we are seeing now a number of digital bank growing, a number of e-commerce growing, a number of financial technology growing, and more than that, Excellency, they are now forming ecosystem because our policy restructuring of the industry. You may see, I do not want to name some of them, the biggest IPO and the digital, the banking, the fintech, they are using in the future, they will be, now it's about 10 or 11 ecosystem, I call it ecosystem, probably in the future, probably 5. That our direction. Second, our infrastructure of the payment system providing the toll road. Many countries let the development of infrastructure of payment system to the private. Indonesia was there. But since I'm becoming the governor, Bank Indonesia provided the toll road. Like the government, our president, our government, Your Excellency, providing the toll road of Jakarta to Surabaya, Trans Java, Trans Sumatra. We provided the toll road. That's why we are developing Bank Indonesia Fast Payment. And also we are connecting each other. I'm not seeing any biggest challenge because my spirit, clear vision, clear strategy, clear program, and we are working with industry. All of our initiative work with industry. We have a full support of the industry. And of course, we need to campaign because we are aiming of the retail market. We are aiming of the SME. We are aiming of the inclusion. This is actually my answer to the first question. Can we move? Second question, please.
Thank you, Governor Perry. The second question actually relates to what you just mentioned about infrastructure, or you used the word ecosystem. The number 5 question, I think, relates to what you were explaining to, but it would be also great if you could elaborate on the implications around Warun, which is smaller.
Number 5, I will cut.
Yes.
Where was the first QR Indonesian standard introduced? My village, Warung, Pasar. What I call it Pasar Gawo, because I was born in Gawo, very small village. If you know satay, that's the best satay that I have had, Your Excellency. I asked my team, I come back to my hometown. I do not want to bring my money. I just want to use my cell phone. Introduce QR Indonesian standard there. Now, yes, already there. We introduced already in the pasar-pasar traditional market. We introduced a number of mosques, church, university. Now we introduce also to the malls, shopping mall, QR Indonesian standard. We continue to be spreading. So more and more now. Of course, I cannot introduce QR Indonesian standard yet in the remote, very remote area. But in the cities, in the warung, in the restaurant, more and more becoming very friendly QR Indonesian standard. Let me just tell you a story, Your Excellency. In the past, when we are buying mango, you know mango, right? Most of the favorite. We need to go to the strawberry. Now I just push my button, and my cell phone. Then come to East Java, the best mango that we ever had. within not more than 2 days. I like to drink young green coconut water every day. In the past, I need to go to the grocery and get the coconut and cut myself. Now I just want it through our cell phone. Within 1 hour, Your Excellency Ambassador, bottles of fresh coconut water come to my house. This is a retail distribution is already. You know, Grab's, Gojek, and everywhere logistic. You know, like digital banking. You know about GoPay. You know about OVO. You know about so name. We have like Bukalapak. We have like Tokopedia. We have the Shopee. All of them are integrated now using a large number of ecosystem. So when the COVID already got away, come again to Indonesia. And I will also show you in the small warung, we can use just cell phone. What you need to do is the money in the bank there. Then everything you do not need to bring cash. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Perry. Thank you also for the excitement that you have shared with us today. I'm afraid in the interest of time, we would like to move on to the next session, which is Dr. Yuri Sato's synthesis. So thank you very much, Dr. Perry, for your presentation today.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you. Okay, so we will move on to our last speaker, Dr. Yuri Sato, and I would like to hand over to her for the synthesis. Now, Dr. Sato is an Executive Senior Research Fellow from Institute of Developing Economies, JETRO. And Dr. Sato has completed both her master's and doctoral degrees at the University of Indonesia with her doctorate in Doctor of Economics. And her career centers around business and economy in Indonesia and beyond. And Dr. Sato has also taken multiple leadership roles, one of which includes the presidency of Association for Asia Studies. She has held academic positions as lecturer at Waseda University, Asia University, Tsuda College, Hosei University, to name a few. With her expertise, she has received several awards and honors and continued serving for the promotion of ASEAN-Japan and Indonesia-Japan relations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Sato.
Selamat sore. Good afternoon. こんにちは、皆様。早速、はい、ありがとうございます。ご紹介いただきましたジェトロアジア経済研究所の佐藤由里でございます。本日は時間が限られてましてすみません。日本語で、させていただきますので、通訳ご利用の方、チャンネルを合わせていただけますと幸いです。本日はこのような機会にをいただきまして大変感謝を申し上げます。私の方からは今ペリワルジョ中銀総裁から非常に詳しい最新の経済状況、そして経済政策についてお話ありまして、その政策について若干の分析的な視点を加えさせていただければと思います。話の流れは次のシートですが、まずごく簡単ですけれども、新型コロナ、すみません、シートをもう一枚めくっていただけますか。はい。新型コロナパンデミックの下での財政金融政策をざっとどんなふうに評価できるかということをお話しし、そして2番目に政策形成者にとっての短期的、中長期的課題と、今、総裁の方からご自身の考え方ということで、たくさんの課題を挙げていただきましたが、私の見るところの重要なポイントのみ本日の文脈に即して、お話しできればと思います。で、次に言っていただきまして、コロナ対応の財政金融政策ですけれども、まず財政政策の方は、コロナ対応経済回復プログラムという名称の 通称ペンプログラムというところを昨年の5月から発動させましてですね、昨年の実績で580兆ルピア、今年の予算ベースで745兆ルピア、来年の予算が321兆ルピアということで、一旦膨らんで来年度は縮小するという、そういった規模感になりますけれども、GDP 比でいうと大体 4% から 5% の規模で、これは中所得国の平均に大体相当しますけれども、そういった財政出動がなされております。で、日本はですね、同じ昨年の実績で74兆円、円に直しますとインドネシアの方は4兆円ということで、大きな開きはあるんですけれども、インドネシアはこの規模の財政出動を捻出するために大変大きな歴史的な決断をしたというところが私は重要だと思っております。それ2つありまして、1つは財政赤字の上限を3年に限って撤廃したということです。2003年国家財政法でですね、財政赤字は GDP 比の 3% までというキャップがかぶせられておりましたが、17年間これは破られていなかったのを、今回は緊急措置ということで3年に限って、ここに赤字幅書きましたが、昨年が 6.1、今年来年とその 5%、大体 5% 前後というところになっております。で、スハルト時代は実は財政均衡政策、財政均衡原則というのがありまして、財政の支出と歳入は常に帳尻が合うという原則を一貫して通しておりましたが、実はここはからくりがあってですね、ルピアの歳入と歳出は常に実は赤字だったんですね。ところがそこに外国援助を開発歳入、開発歳出という名称で加えることによって、そのプラスした帳尻が常に合うということで、通常の意味での財政赤字は見えない状態でありました。ですけれども、民主化後これを見える化してですね、そしてそのルピアでの国内での財政の歳入歳出のギャップを GDP 比の 3% までというふうに定める財政規律を設けたということ、これは非常に大きな改革だったと思います。それが今回、時限付きで、取られたということ。からもう一つはですね、財政赤字ファイナンスと中銀、これまでは切り離しておりました。これはスカルノ時代の反省に基づくと私は理解しておりまして、1960年代半ば、恒常的であった財政赤字をファイナンスするために中央銀行が通貨を増発して、そのために超ハイパーインフレが起きて、経済が破綻していくという、そういったことがあったその反省に基づいて、それから50年以上封印されてきた手段だったわけですが、今回緊急措置ということで、これも封印が解かれまして、先ほど総裁の説明がありましたが、昨年から中銀が国債を購入する、あるいは国債発行によって増えた債務の増加分の利子を中銀が半分程度を負担するということになっております。これ規模感見ていただきますと、ペンプログラムの大体8割に相当する額を中銀がファイナンスしているという計算になります。で、これは昨年に限った緊急措置かと思っていたんですが、先ほどの話にもありましたが、まだ来年まで、22年までというふうに先ほど総裁はおっしゃってましたが、続くということかと思います。で、次は金融政策。ここはですね、次のシートに行っていただきまして、中銀総裁からご説明あった通りなんですが、主に4点ですね、再整理しますと、このルピア防衛がまず非常に重要だということで、これは実は昨年の3月に一時期ルピアが急落しまして、コロナの感染者の発見直後ですね、中銀の利下げのタイミングで、1ドル16,608ルピアまで落ちたことがありまして、これは1998年のアジア通貨危機の最安値を超える安値でありまして、関係者は一旦青くなったわけですけれども、そこからこの三重の介入をいたしまして、これはスポット市場、先物取引市場、国際二次市場、あらゆる介入をやるということで安定化に成功いたしまして、現在まで1ドル14,000ルピア台で安定的に推移している。これは大変評価できる手腕だと思います。 それから金融緩和ですけれども、これも非常に大胆に昨年初来6回引き下げまして、現在 3.5% という政策金利、これはインドネシア経済史上最も低いレベルです。で、政策金利を下げただけでなく、市中金利を下げる、その利下げを促すためにですね、トランスパランシーポリシーと称して中銀が各銀行のプライムレートを公表するということを今年の2月から始めて、その効果もあって、国営銀行の金利がですね、平均で2ポイント低下をしてきております。それから量的緩和、これも先ほど800兆ルピアを超える額が中銀からございました。円にして6兆円規模の量的緩和をやっている。それからローン規制の緩和ですね。これは今年いっぱいの時限措置ということで、二輪、四輪、あるいは不動産、これの規制を、はっきり言って、一旦取っ払うということを知っております。それから先ほど中金総裁大変強調されてました金融デジタル化ですけれども、QR コード、これはワルンと呼ばれる屋台も含めてですね、1200万店舗、もうどこでも使えるようにしたいと、これ急速にアクセルを中銀主導で踏んでおりますが、これは実はキャッシュをですね、お札をもやり取りすると、やはりそこでその衛生管理という点もあります。ですから感染防止にもなるこのデジタライゼーションをこのコロナ禍の下で一気にアクセルを踏むという、非常に理にかなった政策だというふうに考えております。総じてですね、財政政策、金融政策、スリ・ムリヤニ財務大臣とペリー・ワルジョー中銀総裁のツートップの指揮の下で、手堅い経済運営、政策運営がなされているというふうに評価できるのではないかと私自身見ております。とりわけ次元付きで財政出動する、金融緩和をする、刺激策を行う。これ集中的に、資源を投資するというのは有効だと思いますし、それから先ほどの予算、ペン予算を見ていただきましても、これが非常に絞られてですね、減額されていると。出口戦略モードに入っている。これはまだ経済非常に傷んでますから、もう痛みがあるところはもっと不足だと、もっと財政出動してくれという声はありながらもですね、財政担当者としては内装では触れないと。予算としては一旦もう出口モードに入るんだと。状況によっては常にフレキシブルに動きますよと説明のもとにですね、出口モードに入っている。これは私は財政運営として評価すべきだというふうに考えております。そして最後になりますけれども、政策担当者にとっての短期的課題、中長期的課題というところで指摘をしたいと思います。短期的の方は先ほどペリー総裁の中にも資料にもありました、このテンパリングというふうに呼ばれてました。どこかの時点で必ずそのアメリカの利上げが来るわけですね、回復過程において。これは実は新興国にとっては短期資金の流出、通貨の急落という負のインパクトを伴いがちなわけで、これをいかにマイルドに最小化するか、ここで非常に手腕が問われるところであります。つまり安定的に持続的にパンデミック危機からの回復の道筋をつけるため、どこかで今年来年のどこかで来る。ここが短期的には課題ですね。それから中長期的な課題、これは制度の問題であります。一つはですね、先ほど中銀による赤字ファイナンスですけれども、2022年までというふうに総裁はおっしゃったと思うんですけれども、これが時限的措置なのか、あるいは恒常的な手段の一つとして保持するのかっていうのは、実はまだ明示はされていません。法制度的にですね。もし、恒常的な手段の一つとして、つまり中銀が国債を買うということですけれども、これを維持するのであれば、目的とそれからどこか歯止めはあるのかという制度整備が必要だと思っております。もう国債を買っては絶対いけないということではないと思うんですよね。ですけれども、もしやるのであれば、その制度整備が必須だと私は見ております。それから2番目にですね、中銀法の改正案というのが一部で、報道されているんですね。これは民主化後に中銀の独立性を謳った、つまり中銀の政策はいかなる外部勢力からも介入を受けないということを謳った中銀法が現在まで施行されておりますが、一方では国家主導の開発主義。これはですね、かつては、権威主義と開発主義っていうのはもうイコールと考えられていたんですが、インドネシアのような民主主義、国家であっても開発を国家第一目標に掲げる開発主義というのはあり得るんだというのは、今、学術界でもそういった定説になりつつあります。 この民主主義的開発主義の一つの典型は私、インドネシアだと思っているんですが、この国家主導の開発主義の下でですね、行政府、内閣も衆議院も全部その開発という目標に向かって一体化して政策を打っていくんだという意味で、行政府の下に中銀があった方がいいのではないかという考え方が一部で出てきて、嫌のに聞いておりますが、私はですね、中銀の独立性だと強調はできないのでもないし、あるいは強調するんだったらその中銀の独立性は邪魔になるという二者択一ではないと思うんですね。ですから長期的に見てですね、中銀の独立性を法制度で担保しておくというのは国内外の信用確保には非常に重要ですので、この中銀の独立性を担保しつつ、だけれどもその同じ方向に向かって政府、中銀も含めて協調行動をしていくと、この両者をバランスさせる制度設計をぜひインドネシアには模索していただきたいというふうに考えております。以上、私からのお話でありました。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
Thank you, Sato Sensei, for sharing with us your analytical perspective on Indonesia's economic policy, and Aya for moderating the session. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, as I have mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, the presentation materials will be sent to everyone who completed the survey. Thus, we will appreciate if you could please take a few minutes to complete it. Thank you. On behalf of ASEAN-Japan Center, Bank Indonesia Tokyo, and Indonesian Embassy in Tokyo, I would like to express our deepest gratitude and highest appreciation to all the speakers and participants for your participation in the webinar. It was a pleasure to have all of you with us, and we hope you have learned and enjoyed the presentation and discussion. I thank you and have a nice evening.